All right, all right. I'm not going to do the usual intro. Uh, I feel that it would be too long. But I do want to ask you guys before I continue if you guys can hear me. Just that's the only thing that's important to me right now. Is if you can hear me, then I'll move forward. And yeah, do the whole catch up thing and give you guys a bunch of updates and all that good stuff. Um, awesome. So it sounds like everybody can hear me, right? Yeah. What up, Red? God bless every single one of you guys. I am honored and delighted to see any of you here, really, because I've lost track of time altogether. I don't know how long it's been. I don't know, um, you know, exactly when's the last time I was on here frequently. I know at some point I either made a video or I did a quick live to do some type of like update at some point. Um, but I can't remember the last time that I was on here consistently and frequently. Feels like forever. But I see Veronica. I see Brother Red. I know Tracy was here earlier. I don't know if she's still here, but to those of you who are here right now, and for those of you who will be here at some point, uh, yeah, I see Community Remix. Yeah, yeah, I'm grateful. I see Terrence is also here. Yeah, and yeah, if you're here and um, want to shout out or I mean, if I could see everybody who's here, that'd be great. That way, I know who I'm talking to and who I have to do a bigger recap for. Because I know most of you, if not all of you, know what I've gone through or been going through the past like 2 years or so. But maybe some of you are new and need like a bigger recap. Um, Nonetheless, while continue to see names pop up on the screen on my end, again, I just want to say God bless every single one of you guys. I really do hope everybody had an amazing Christmas. I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year's. And I hope everybody got to spend time with their families, their loved ones, friends. Um, yeah, and I just, as always, for those of you who have known me since, you know, the JDQ channel, with Alex and everything, even way back then, I was big on like, everybody spending time with their families and friends and making the best of time with your family members, your parents, your loved ones, your brothers, your sisters, etc. I've always been a big believer and a big advocate for uh, spending quality time with your family and all that, right? Which, by the way, Tracy, I hope it's not too soon, but yeah, Poach Center days for sure. Yeah, that was the good old days. The good old days when I was actually actively laughing my butt off on screen for you guys and laughing about the some of the PEDOs and their fiber consumption and tiny cars hitting trees and all that. Those are the good old days, right? We all remember those, the reaction days. But yeah, y'all know I've always been for family and everything, and I just really do hope that in this season of Tracy's life, I hope that everyone that's here and that knows Tracy, sends her love, sends her prayers, sends her, condolences. I'm kind of like blank on some words here, but basically, I hope everyone could be there for Tracy. She lost her mother recently. Well, we won't even use that terminology. We'll say heaven received Tracy's mom recently, right? God the Father welcomed Tracy's mom with open arms recently. Uh, you know, and Tracy, I know I told you at some point I was going to call you to check on you, right, and talk to you. I haven't done that, so I do apologize. We got stuff happening over here as well, and yeah, I want to be able to be in a good place in order for me to be there for anyone really. But I know as a community, we're all here for you, and whatever you need, if you need to vent, if you need to text any of us, I'm sure we would all gladly respond to you right as soon as we can, and try to be there for you, Tracy. So God bless you, and God bless your family, and may God give you strength. I know the feeling, obviously, right? I know what it feels like to lose a parent. I know what it feels like not only to lose a parent, um, but for because a lot of people, they'll say, "Oh, my father was the best, or my mother was the best." But when you talk to certain people, the family or friends, they're like, "Oh, they weren't that close." So when you're truly close to your loved one, your parent, your father, your mother, and you lose them, right, or heaven receives them, uh, it's a noticeable um, it's a noticeable void, right? That we tend to feel strongly for in many ways. Uh, Chris, what's going on, man? God bless. God bless you, brother. There goes one of the most. Let me say something real quick before I continue. You welcoming everybody and doing the recap and everything. I gotta say, LaRoche has become to be over time and over the years uh, a true, genuine symbol of hope. And I say that with all realness and all honesty, because whether it be through Instagram or Facebook or through any social media that where I come across Chris's like content and still talking positive and still being optimistic and still being that extremely motivational and optimistic voice that a lot of these communities need. I have grown fond of the motivational words and the speeches, and um, yeah, man, I'm a big fan of optimism. I to this point and to this day, there's areas of my life where I still keep a good amount of optimism. Right. I was talking to my mother and my sister last night. We had a long conversation over the drive back home from a beautiful family gathering that we had. Um, yeah, every year um, we're invited to my dad's cousin's house in Orlando. I say my dad's cousin, but she's really young in my opinion, so I kind of consider her like my actual cousin. Um, but yeah, they invite us over every year, and the whole family. The whole family is always invited, and it's supposed to be like a Three Kings celebration, but we can never really get it right on Three Kings Day, which is the 6th of January. So we tend to do it a few days before. And anyways, it was a beautiful celebration. It was a family gathering. Everybody was talking with each other. We had a great time. We sang together. We spent quality time with each other. We got to see family members from out of state that we don't really get to see often, and etc. Right? It was all beautiful. It was all great. And on the way back from that gathering back home, um, my sister and me took turns driving, and at some point, I was talking about personal matters, and I was very vocal about still even where I'm at in life, and still humanly feeling like hopeless to an extent. I still choose and decide to hold a decent amount of hope, right, and optimism in specific areas of my life, if not all areas of my life, right. Um, and yeah, it was a good conversation. My sister and my mother, they mean well, and they give me advice, and I do take their advice to heart, and I know where they're coming from, and I appreciate the words and encouragement in certain areas, and we might not agree on trains of thoughts and um, what I perceive certain things to be, and vice versa. But overall, it was a nice, healthy conversation. We all said our piece, right? And yeah, it was good. It was a good talk on the way home. But yeah, so I see Chris, I see Terrence, I see Brother Red, I see Open Your Eyes, I see Tracy, I see Community Remix, Veronica, and if I'm missing anybody at all, because I know sometimes, sometimes viewers don't want to you know, don't want it to be known that they're here, and they just want to watch the show or whatever. Um, you can say hi, whoever is here that hasn't said anything yet. Feel free to just say hi or whatever you want to say. But anyways, I am aware that everybody is busy. I trust me, I know I'm well aware of that. That's why I don't take anything personal. Like if and when I write to someone or try to reach out to someone, and I don't really get a response immediately or right away, I have never in my life taken it personal. I've never mistook that for like something else, or oh, maybe the person is like mad at me or something. No, I've never looked at it that way. I always think the worst last. That's my way of being. I've always thought of the worst last, right? And I've always thought the worst of people last. So, in my opinion and in my eyes, it's like, well, maybe they're at work, maybe they're tending to family, maybe they're running errands, maybe they're just really busy, maybe they're sleeping, maybe, a person could be doing a million other things. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be something bad. It doesn't have to be something negative. Life can be lifing, right? And you just got a million things that you have to do. Who knows? Maybe you have your phone on silent. Maybe you have your phone on do not disturb, right? So lesson number one, never take things personally, right? Like always take notes from me and just think the worst last. Don't think the worst as like the first possibility, right? Because you're gonna end up potentially hurting yourself unnecessarily, right? Because you're overthinking something, or you're thinking the worst outcome out the gate, when in reality, maybe the person was just taking a really long shower. I take long showers, man. And some people, the people who know me personally, like my family and all that, they're already used to it, so they don't say nothing, right? But if let's say I had like a business call, right, and I tell the person, oh, I'll text you after I'm like taking a shower or whatever, right? They're like, okay, cool. And yeah, I am speaking from experience. And then they won't get a text from me until like 2 hours later or something like that, or sometimes even more, right? And the first thing is like, wow, you must take really long showers. I'm like, yeah, well, technically it wasn't just a shower, but sure. I mean, I also do take exaggerately long uh hour showers, right? And obviously, one of the only reasons why I can get away with that to a certain extent. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't. overdo it all the time, right? But more often than not, I do take long showers. But the only reason I can get away with that is because I pay for that bill. So it's like you can't tell me nothing because I'm paying for that one. So, anyways, yeah. So yes, it is a valuable lesson to not think the worst first. I don't care how many bad experiences you had over time, over life, over the years. I don't care how many really terrible, traumatic instances you might have had with a bunch of different people and bunch of different like family members, right? Never think the worst first. Never, never, because it just so happens to be that more often than not, it is a misunderstanding or it is, way, way, way far from what you think it was or is, right? And there's nothing worse than looking at yourself like embarrassed, right? Or just ashamed or just kind of like awkward to like think the worst only to be clarified like, oh, it was because of this or it was because of that. It's not a good feeling, you know? And I can say that for other people. I can speak on behalf of other people who've gone through that. I've personally never gone through that. Like I don't know, because again, I never think of the worst first. I really do think of the worst case scenario last, right? And I think the worst of people last. Give people plenty of chances to prove, right, that they're decent people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not a good feeling. Um, but anyways, so a few things, right? Um, First things first. This year, as most of you know, I'm nowhere near at 100, right? And I know most of you won't want to hear this, and you might even be like, "Oh, come on, man," like snap out of it, shake yourself off, dust the dirt off your shoulders, right? Which I appreciate the sentiment, and I do appreciate the desire to see me back to who I was, right, or even better, right? All of that is genuinely appreciated, and I trust me, I do receive that positive sentiment of wanting to see me back to me, right, to being me. And I'm on my way to that. I'm on my way there. I'm not there yet. I don't know how long that's going to take for me to be myself again. I don't know if it's going to be days, weeks, months, years. I don't know. I can't really answer that. But I have been, like putting in the work here and there. Um, those of you who do follow me on social media, y'all know that my escape is art, right? And drawing and coloring and making art pieces and all that. So that's been one of my escapes and my therapies, my self therapies to help myself move forward, right? And of course, actual therapy and counseling. Um, healing takes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Healing takes time, but you know, it it it's even worse, and it takes even more time when certain things don't go through in order for you to, you know, close certain doors peacefully, right? Have peaceful and healthy closure, right? And that kind of those types of situations, right? Unnecessary situations, because the thing is that these are things that can be done, but sometimes it takes another person, an additional person, right, to help those areas. And many times, if that other person isn't there to help, finish a certain process, then it just takes you that much longer to heal, right? And it's, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Like it's really messed up that it's really messed up that I can't get certain closures, right? Um, and be allowed to like, move forward as even the person would want me to move forward, right? But here we are. Like it is what it is. And at some point, I've obviously I'll be talking about all that stuff, right? Whether it be through the videos or through the live streams or whatever. Uh, um, got to use it. Yeah, yeah. I appreciate that, Chris, and I do agree. I know I don't have to be exactly the same version that I was before, right? And when I say version of myself, I just mean like my jokative, fun-loving, uppity, very charismatic version of myself. That's the version of myself that I'm talking about because I've grown to become a better version of myself in all the important areas, right? Um, I've grown and matured into someone worthy of, right? And so many great things that I've learned and I have just overall, just have become a truly, genuinely better version of myself in those other areas. But when I say go back to my being myself, I just mean like, y'all know what I'm talking about. Like when you go back and watch uh, the other channel and you see me smiling a lot and you see me like laughing a lot and you see me cracking jokes left and right and, very easily uh, approachable and just fun loving and like a ray of sunshine, that version of me is the version of me that I'm talking about. Like I would love to get back to that, um or even even better than what I was before in that area. And yeah, those are the areas I would love to get back to. But you know yeah, I wish I could bring the comments of you guys um into the stream, but StreamYard has changed. This is how long I've been gone, that StreamYard has changed so much. With even within the free version of it, I can't do certain things that I was able to do back when I was still doing this, where I could like, pop in the comments and the main screen and have them on screen with me. But you know, uh, yeah. For those of you, this is a great segue. This is a great segue. All right. For those of you who want to help a brother out with that and want to see your comment on screen, this is ridiculous that I even have to ask this or even say this. But yes, the PayPal and the banner below is still active. So if any of you want to help your boy Jay out over here and see your comments on screen and a bunch of other gizmos and gadgets that come with the basic, very affordable version of StreamYard, that would be great. And the so yes, that's what I'm talking about. Like I can't even bring up. There we go. Finally, okay, that works. I can't even remember the last time. Listen, I don't know what people are using nowadays. I don't know what all has changed overall because it feels like forever. Anybody out here know exactly how long I've been gone for? Because I've truly lost track of time. I don't know when's the last time I did like an actual live stream on here. Has it been 2 years? Has it been like 2 years and some change? Has it been three? I don't know. I really honestly do not know how to answer that. And has taken that over. What? What do you mean? I think Stephanie McMahon has taken that over TC. TC. Oh, we're talking to Karen's. Okay, gotcha. Okay, okay, okay. My last live was a year ago. Yo, I don't want to know who that was, but I'm assuming it might be Alex or someone in that category. Um, I mean, not him, but someone he caught probably. I don't know. I have been out of the loop from all of that, so I would not know. But yes, I agree. Yeah, if I didn't go through that, if the person who went through that overcame it, then yes, I would assume that I can overcome anything. Oh yeah, that I don't know how that's not on every T-shirt right now. No way, Alex is engaged to it. Please tell me it's to who I'm thinking it is. Please tell me it's with who I think it is. Don't, Father God, I ask you that it's not somebody else. Is it to Samira? Please say it's Samira. Please say it's Samira. Please. For the love of God, I need one thing to go right. I need one thing to go right. What? To who? Can there not be? Okay, okay, okay. All right. Well, I guess nobody can truly have what they truly want in life. I guess we've all learned that we just cannot have. Nobody can have what they want. All right. So I don't know the girl then because I just talked to her. She went boom. Wait, what? Okay, so who are we talking about? See, I blame you guys. I and by the way, I got two teeth pulled recently, right? Like a few weeks back, a few months ago. And I got this weird thing that happens when I talk where the side of my mouth, right, on the inside gets, for whatever reason, it gets close to like my teeth in that area. And it'll get in the way and I'll end up biting it. So um okay, so rip thingy. What the heck? Okay, so all right, all right, all right. I'm gonna let you guys see whoever it is, and if it's even someone, I don't know. I don't know who it is, but I hope whoever it is good for Alex and vice versa. And I hope it works out. And I wish Alex well, and I pray that he and his new love interest uh, do great together. Uh, Tony, God bless you, Tony and LB. God bless you. Um, See, there's a bunch of new people I don't even know. I don't even know, yo. But anyways, I'll let you guys let me in on that loop and catch me up and just inform me of what all is going on. I guess with Alex and everything else. But while y'all do that, I will start to kind of do like a recap of everything that's happened, right? And then I'll go on to explaining what the plans are for the channel because yeah, we'll get to that. But okay, so recap. All right, so obviously, right? Obviously, Pops was also received up in heaven, right? Um, Pops being my dad, my father. So he's having the time of his life up in heaven with the Lord, right? He's having a great time. He's having a feast. He's waiting on me. He's waiting on our family, right? To to be up there with him. That happened, and right around the same time that happened, and obviously, those who know me, are also aware that almost back to back, right after that happened, um, I had the worst breakup of my entire life. I lost the woman that I truly, genuinely love. No, she's not dead, but sadly, you know, we're we're no longer, pursuing something towards each other at the moment. Um, Everybody knows that when I talk about that, I'm talking about Emily. Like, there's 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 no other name. You know what I'm saying? There's no other name when I'm talking about the love of my life that can be uttered by anyone. Everybody here knows that it's Emily. Everybody in my life knows it's Emily. My family, my neighbors, everybody. Absolutely everybody knows who I'm talking about. To the point where I don't really need to say the name, but I say it just to make it crystal clear, I guess. But anyways, that happened, and so it was like one heartbreak after the other, basically, and it was like back to back. Um, and it's been real tough ever since. It's one thing to lose a parent, right? Um, and but you know where they're going. My father was an actual, legitimate, genuine man of God. Pastor for many years. He was a preacher for many years. And he lived what he preached. He walked the talk, right? He talked the talk and he walked the walk. And he was the same person uh, out in public as who he was behind the scenes, behind the curtains, but like at home, it was the same person. So he was the same fun-loving guy. He was the life of the party, right? The light of the room, if you will. Always looking for everybody's well-being. Um, to a certain extent, he was like my best friend, right? We used to talk music together. We used to talk about business together and plans. And he wanted to do a podcast, but before everything happened, and I had gotten him like a little like microphone and podcast type equipment for him to like either do a podcast or do music, right? Uh, Phenomenal singer, phenomenal musician, teacher. The list goes on and on. Like you know, yeah, he was the greatest man that I knew in person in my personal life. Um, but yeah, it's not the same. Like when you lose someone like that, but you know where they're going, you're at peace. You're at peace because you know that they lived a life close to God. They lived a life um, that God wants us all to live. You know, and it wasn't this like huge like challenge or struggle for him. He loved living for God. He loved um, preaching the gospel. He loved talking about the word of God, right? The Bible. He loved to preach. He loved to have conversations with people about the gospel, about uh, everything to do with the Bible, right? And so, yeah, yeah. And when you know that type of person, and you know that they are indeed in heaven, not because you hope that they are, not because you think that they are, not because they did good deeds, but you genuinely saw it for yourself that they truly, genuinely lived a life close to God, right? Morning prayers, evening prayers, even when he was on dialysis, Um, and I'm talking about dialysis, like both here at home that we had to do it for some time, and also at one of those centers, right? He still had faith. He still believed that God could do the miracle. He was still waiting on God to do the miracle to his last breath. And this is something that everybody should hear, and everybody needs to hear, is that even to his last breath, he he was pretty much like leaning on God. He was just waiting on God to do the miracle, right? Um, Even when they told him what they told him, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. To the very end, he was just waiting on God to do either a miracle or do what needed to be done, right? And we know what happened, right? God did what he needed to do. Um, but that never shook his faith. That never made him question God, and never made him back out of his faith or his beliefs or anything, and it was years of dialysis, years, and losing his eyesight from one eye, and losing his balance over time, and the list goes on, but yet he never lost his faith. His faith was never shaken, because there's so many miracles that he experienced before all that, and he's seen the touch of God in his personal life and in the life of others, his family members, his friends, his colleagues, his neighbors. He's seen God work in him, through him, right, and in other people's lives, and escaping death multiple times. Multiple times, God saved Dad and our family from death, right? Car crashes, cars going down mountainside, and etc. And that's the thing, is that even if you don't see miracles in your own life the way he did and we did, when you see miracles in other people's lives who their life revolves around God, it's like it takes more for you to not have faith. It takes a lot more for you to like look away and turn a blind eye to miracles, versus actually coming to your senses and saying, you know what, if God did a miracle for them, I know if it's in his will to do a miracle for me, I know he can and will do a miracle for me, right? But yeah, let me pause that so I could read a little bit of what you guys are saying. You mind? Well, on to recall gets on to many things where she had to force him to see, and I would love to, but there really wasn't any bad times until like towards like the very end, you know. And the bad times were caused by me. That's the thing, is people. I don't know how to like really, you know, I don't know how to express this, but there's people, whether it be family, right, or friends, or a second family here on YouTube, right, that will want to encourage me, and and say, oh, like, you could do better and this and that. Um, it's hard for me to even entertain that thought, because again, I'm the one who caused the pain. I'm the one who caused damage. I'm the one who did the wrong things. I'm the one who messed up. I'm the one who, um, you know, could have done better, and should have done better in time, and in advance. And I made mistakes. I didn't do certain things that I should have done in time, in order to prevent worse things from happening. And so it really is all on me. Like, it really is all my fault. And I have always manned up to that. I've always admitted to it. I've always, um, you know, come clean to that. Like I'm aware 1,000% that it is my fault. And, you know, not going to get into it, not getting into details, right? Because it's not the time and place for that. But I'm just saying that because, you know, people don't know. Some people don't know how things went down. And so they feel bad for me. I'm like, you shouldn't feel bad for me. You really shouldn't. Please don't feel bad for me. Please don't. You know, pray for her. Pray for God's healing hand over her. I know God will heal me, and I know that over time, at some point, eventually, I will heal. Right. But priority and main thing is for her healing. I'm not saying, one person is more important than the other. That's not what I'm saying. But to me personally, she's more important. Her healing is more important than my healing because I trust God. I trust that my healing will come whenever it comes, right? And I'm okay with that. Um, I'm okay with God doing whatever He's gonna do with me, and I will be patiently waiting, and at the same time, I'll be working towards that healing. But in perspective, because I'm at peace with that, the priority is for her healing. Her healing is more important to me than my own. It's always been the case. It has always been the case from day one of all of this. And it will always be the case. I will always say her healing is more important to me than my own. And that's not me putting myself last. That's not me belittling my healing. That's not doing any of that. Because again, hey, I'm aware. I trust God. I know at some point, when God wants to give me that bridge and help me cross it to fully heal, He'll do it, and I'm at peace with that. And whenever it happens, it happens. Great, fantastic. I'm working towards it. Awesome. But now, her healing is more important to me than that. Because as a person who caused the pain and the person who caused the damage, but actually loves the person and cares for the person and actually wants the best for the person, then yes, her healing is more important to me than my own, you know? Um, from the second on this planet, we have to deal with death. We are introduced to knowledge of death sentences. Yep, that is true. That is also true. Yeah, and open your eyes. See, that's the part that really bothers me is that lessons were learned, and I have grown and I have matured since then, right? But sadly, I will never be given the opportunity to put what I learned to practice. That's the sad part. And that's one of the things that really breaks my heart and really tears me to pieces is like, I went through this terrible thing, right? I learned from it. I have equipped myself with knowledge to not make the same mistake again. I've equipped myself with wisdom to not make the same errors again, right? Yet I will never get to use those tools and never get to use what I learned because the chance and opportunity will not be given to me again. So it's like I told someone recently. It's like I know it wasn't for nothing and I know it wasn't in vain, but it feels that way, right? It feels that way. And that's the part that bothers me. It's like I'm well aware, right? That, everything that I learned and all that, moving forward, I will give that knowledge to other men. But from there, to me be able to use it with the person that it's meant to be used with, apparently that's not an option right now. And that really does it bothers me. And I have to say it because it's one of the main things that bothers me every single day that passes. It's like, again, I'm aware that it wasn't in vain, right? What I learned wasn't in vain, and what I'm equipped with now is not in vain. It's not in vain. But again, it feels like it is, because it's like, okay, I learned. I'm well equipped now. I'm the wiser now from it, right? But there's no one to use it with because I'm not moving on to somebody else. I'm not expecting to use what I learned on somebody else. So what's all that's left is me just teaching other men, like, hey, don't make the mistake I made. That's all that, the knowledge that I gain is just for other men. That's all it is. Yeah. Yep. Um, Past judgment a little harshly and it was immature. Uh, it's easier, but even without being particular faith, still find the strength to learn from that experience. We all make mistakes. Important. Not perfect. Yeah, I mean I'm human, of course, and that's a possibility. It's a possibility to, well, definitely not make the same mistakes again, because it's like one of those things where it's like once you hit rock bottom and you learn certain things in the most harshest of ways, where it marks you, you really don't make the same mistake again moving forward. You might make other mistakes, right, from other things that you're not knowledgeable of or you still haven't learned from, but as far as like making the same mistake that tore your life into pieces and marks you, that's kind of like, yeah, I don't really see that from me moving forward. Um, I hear you, Chris, and I hear you, and I hear you. And again, it's like I told my mom and my sister last night. I hear you guys, and I know you mean well. I know you mean well. And as a brother, I receive your sentiment. I receive your sentiment, and I receive your optimism. Right? I always will. But, but, and this is not personal. This is in general, right? So don't take this personal. This is an answer to a lot of people who tell me something similar, right? I have people who've told me, "Oh, like, why are you like tying yourself to her so much? Like, there's so many like women out there and so many females out there, and yada yada yada." And I'm like, "That's great that there's other women out there. Let them keep swimming. Let us." You know how people say, "Oh, there's other fish in the sea." I'm like, "All right, let them keep swimming." let, them, let them keep swimming past me because I'm not interested. I really am not. Like, like I'm not interested in any other female. Like, and the sad part is, y'all. You want to know what the sad part is? Here's the sad part. Time is gonna pass. Days, weeks, months, years, right? Time is gonna pass, and I'm still gonna be by myself. I'm still gonna be without a girlfriend, without a wife, without a love interest. Why? By choice. By choice. My own personal decision, because my love for her is true and genuine. And because I'm truly and genuinely in love with her, I've made the personal decision to tough it out on my own for however long that is. That might be absurd to some. It might be crazy to others. It might be ignorant to others. It might be immature to others. Whatever anyone thinks of it, I'll respect it. because to each their own, and I respect everybody's opinion. But for me, in life, and this is in every area of my life. This goes from food to collectibles to products that I use, etc. Right? When I use something, a product, or find a collectible, or find anything that is the very best version of what I'm looking for, right? I stick with it. I don't go out of my way to see and search like, oh, what if there's better, right? What if there's better? If I've already experienced greatness, then I rather if I can't have that greatness again, I'd rather stay with the memory of having experienced that greatness versus attempting to replace that greatness with something that I already know is not going to be as good, right? Or come even close to what it was. But that's just me. That's just my personal way of looking at it. Everybody has their own is in their own right to look at it however they want to. There's people who will say, "Oh, but what if there is?" And I respect that. I respect that train of thought. And everybody has their own reason behind what they believe in that area, right? But for me personally, like once I'm trying to find a better way to explain it, yo, but it's like okay, it's like when I bought these Pumas. I bought these Puma sneakers a few years back, right? And the cushioning on the inside of these Pumas is phenomenal. I've tried other sneakers on, I've tried other shoes on, but for my feet and for my body and for my everything, when I put these Pumas on, right? Um, they're like for me personally, they've felt the best to me, right? For what I use them for and for casual walking or whatever. The cushioning is just beyond great. So I've already made it like a goal that anytime I see this sneaker, right? Um, and I'm talking about the Puma X-Ray or X Square. I forget the model name or whatever. But like I think some of y'all know which ones I'm talking about. They're like white, blue, gray, and black, and just the inside is an amazing feeling. And I've made it a goal to like anytime and every time I see them at a really reasonable price, where it's like close to being dirt cheap, I try to snag another pair because I know I can count on them. I know I can count on the cushioning of these sneakers because they're just the best that I've ever tried on. You know, there's no reason for me to like try, another sneaker. If I buy another pair of sneakers, it's just to buy another pair of sneakers. But if I want that comfort that I can trust and that the overall fitting and comfiness and cushioning that I'm looking for when I put these on, and I just stick with these. I don't know. There's other ways of me explaining it, but I'm trying to give y'all like a quick you know um, rundown of what it is. Um, yeah, I, I agree. I agree, and that's another thing that bothers me is in the past, way before her, you know, trust was broken with me, and yet I have always been someone that I have always been able to be like, yes, in the moment, does it hurt? The breaking of the trust. Yes, it hurts. It's terrible. It's terrible, 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 terrible. It's a terrible feeling, right? But if and when the person talks to me, we have a conversation, and they have come to me and said, yes, this happened, that happened, or whatever, but I want to like try again, or I want to, you know, start fresh. Or I've been able to do that. I've been able to be like, cool, let's start fresh. We're gonna forget that this happened. We're gonna start fresh and go from there and see where it goes. Right? I've been able to do that in the past, and it's something that comes natural and organic and easy for me. I know it's not the same for everybody. I'm aware that not everybody is like that. Not everybody is built that way. Not everybody is capable, right, from the get go to to do something like that, to make that type of decision, right? And I guess that's also another reason why it hurts, is like, because I know I've done it in the past. Like, I've allowed people to start fresh in my life, right? Like a reset and start things anew. I'm hoping that other people can do the same thing, but it's like, it's other people just don't function that way. They don't, and I'm talking in general right now. Other people in the world, in general, seem to not have that capacity to actually start fresh and do a reset and be like, because okay, the way I look at it is like, God, when we come to God and we ask for forgiveness, right? We ask for forgiveness and He forgives us, because He does. He does forgive us, right? Guess what happens the next day? The next day, He is not looking at what you did the day before, the week before, the month before, the year before. He's not looking at any of that, right? So I want to treat people the way God treats me. And we are capable of that. Us as human beings are capable of that. It's a matter of deciding to. It's a matter of choosing to. Many times anger will get in the way, and many times like um spite gets in the way, or rebellion, or pain. All these things get in the way of us being able to decide, like, let me do a reset. But I refuse to be that way. I'd rather be as much like God as I can. And if God is able to like clear the clear the memory card, right? And start fresh and reset and like, let's start over every single day, because every His mercies are every single day, and He's not, He's not reminding you of what you did, right? He's not bringing any of that back. So I want to be that way. So I've always been that way. I've never like held someone like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't be that way. I could never be someone who just holds like a grudge, or just holds someone just like in that box of like, oh, you did this yesterday, or you did this last year, or I can't do it, yo. I just can't. um, it's not possible. And here's the thing, Terrence. Even if that were to happen, and this is something that I told my sister and my mom last night too. It was, again, it was a very long conversation. They asked me a similar question, right? And I was like, even if that did happen, which in my opinion it really won't, but even if it did happen, right? Trust me when I tell you that I would put 1,000 signs up to God and be like, okay, like, and and I had to say this last night when I was talking to my mom and my sister. I was like, no disrespect, no disrespect to you, God. No disrespect to you. This is no offense to you, Father God. I would never disrespect you in any way, shape, or form. But If there is somebody else, you got a lot of work cut out for you, my friend. You have a lot of work cut out for you. a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And some people might hear me say that, and they might be like, "Oh, that is disrespectful," or you got some balls to like talk like that. You got some audacity to talk that way. It's like, no, 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 no. I'm comfortable talking with a guy like that. You want to know why? Because Emily was like the sign, the sign and confirmation was there with Emily, right? And still somehow I managed to mess that up and screw that up, right? So if there was a confirmation with her on both sides, not just me, the confirmation was there on both sides, right? And I'm going through all this heartbreak. We're both going through all this heartbreak, right? And because of my fault. Then I'm like, if there is and if there was another option, then once one confirmation or a few signs is not going to be enough. Like, and that's why I say, God, if that's the case, you have a lot of work cut out for you, because I'm going to need thousands upon thousands of confirmations for me to even entertain the thought of giving anyone another chance. You know what I'm saying? And it might sound audacious, and it might sound like, oh, that's that's crazy talk. You talking, you better check yourself. I don't have to check myself, because God knows that it comes from a place of like wanting to be extra extremely sure. It's not about disrespecting him. It's not about disrespecting his ways. It's a matter of me feeling that close to God, where I can talk in that comfortably and be like, hey, last time you confirmed it and I screwed it up. So guess what? All this heartbreak that I'm going through, I would not let it be in vain if there was somebody else, right? So if there was somebody else, then rest assured, I'm going to be asking for like thousands of confirmations before I even like entertain the thought of like even looking, you know, another way. But anyways, I've gone completely off track here. Uh, thanks to you guys. I'm over, I'm over here talking like Mike Tyson. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to you guys. I've been off track. I've been off track all night tonight. Anyways, um, what was I saying? Okay, so all this to say, all this to say, um, that like the channel, the channel will continue as is, as far as like making content that hopefully hooks outsiders in, right? People who maybe aren't of the faith, they're not of the same mindset, right? I'm hoping to reel people in with like daily videos of daily news, right, from the entertainment industry and things that are going on. Which by the way, would the reason I was bringing up, Pops and Emily and everything was because after that happened, right? But after that happened, I don't know if any of y'all like know or whatever, but so a family friend of ours, got stabbed to death back home on the island in my hometown. I think she was like, I don't know, like 16, 17 years old. Um, this girl who is a friend of the family, and her family is our friends of the family from church and everything. Um, the daughter, the girl of the family, she, I forget if it was like on graduation night or after graduation night, I don't know, but she got stabbed to death. And it felt like it was just like nonstop bad things happening around me. And when I say around me, I just mean like in general, right? Um, Her name is Gabriella, right? I believe her family or her used to visit church at some point. So yeah, yeah. She really didn't deserve it, right? I mean, nobody deserves to be stabbed to death, but especially if you're just starting out life, right? And I wasn't able to talk to anybody about that because like the one person that I would talk about that with was gone, right? So there was no one to talk to about any of that, and it sucked because it was heartbreaking. It was really intense. Then the only person that I talked to about it was like my sister and my mom, just because we all found out like together at the same time, and the there's been like an ongoing trial for like the girl who murdered her, right? Who should have been just locked up on the spot, but the justice system, right? The justice system, like everybody, I don't know, man. That whole topic, it's really it's difficult to talk about because it's like, you want to say like, oh, like if you kill somebody, you should just go straight to jail or whatever, right? But like they want to like go the whole nine to like, prove beyond the beyond reasonable doubt, right? And the requirement for like the amount of evidence that they want to require to go through with like locking this girl up and everything else is insane and it's absurd, right? And just like other stuff happening between like everything else that happened, like not just her, like other people like also died, like all the other people got recently murdered, like someone from I think here from Florida, or I can't remember if it was from Florida or from New York. uh he was of Puerto Rican descent, right? But he's never been to Puerto Rico, and he decided to take a vacation recently to the Puerto Rico, right? And he's over there a few days and he's having a good time and blah blah blah. And he leaves the restaurant that he was at, and gets like shot to death, you know. And it was his first time on the island. It was his first time visiting PR, and it was like, so it's crazy. It's crazy not to have your best friend anymore, not to have that one person that you used to talk about all these things with, and I'm not saying I don't have like anybody in general, like I have like my family, right? Like my sister, my mom, my brother, um, technically, you guys, you know, um, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like when you have that special someone that you share everything with, and you talk about everything with, and you share your heart with on a daily basis, right? And you don't have that no more, is really crippling to the mind and to the heart, you know, because that's the only person that you would go to for any of these things. This is the person that, of course, obviously I'm talking about Emily, but like this is the person that I would go to and rush, call me like, yo, you will never believe what just happened, and start talking about it, right? I don't have that anymore. I don't have anyone, bro. I don't have anyone that, that I talk about these things with. And it's annoying. It's frustrating. It really is. Anyways, anyways, a lot of death, basically, a lot of death left and right has happened, whether it be actual family or friend of family or whatever the case. There's been a lot of death, you know, and a lot of it on the island. I think recently, I forget, it was a lady who got carjacked a few weeks or months ago. But when she got carjacked, I guess she got kidnapped, and they think the person either murdered her or just has held her captive and God knows what. And get this. So yeah, all these things have been going on, right? And then I actually have a friend that, an old friend, really, but um, apparently they have been like, I don't know the specifics, I don't know the details because but apparently since October, since late October, no, since beginning of October or something like that. Apparently, there's a possibility that they have also been, to a certain extent, like kidnapped and abused, and a bunch of other stuff. And this was a close friend of mine that I just found out, And there's more to it than that, right? But you know, and there's nothing I can do. There's nothing except for wait and see what answers the police brings up or the authorities bring up, but that's a possibility that one of my close friends from the past, has been potentially, to a certain degree or extent, like kidnapped or abused, right? And a bunch of other stuff. And again, I have no one to talk about that. No one to talk about that. Because again, she was the only one that I would go to for everything and anything. And now I don't even have that. So anyways, all that has happened, right? And I'm saying all this and I'm bringing all this up and all this news and all this recapping, right, of what's happened since last time, to basically say, like, the only thing that matters moving forward, and this has always been the main thing, right? Keep the main thing, right? And the main thing has always been God. It has always been the constant of the channel, right? God. Seek God. Forget about, the priority here is walking and running towards God. If you're a female and you're going through it, right? I don't know, you've been traumatized. You've had a very terrible experience with, like, man or whatever, right? Focus on God, focus on Jesus, focus on Christ, focus on us being in the end days, right? I'm not saying that tomorrow we're getting raptured. I'm not saying it's next month. I'm not saying it's next year, but we're heading there. We're closer than we ever been. So, man and woman, like, make sure the priority is God. Make sure your daily priority is that every day you run closer to God. You run closer to Christ. You run closer to a stronger relationship with the Heavenly Father, right? That should be the focus of everybody. That should be the main focus for anybody and everybody, uh, right now, more than ever. You know, uh, I don't know how else to put it. Like, there is no more important thing than to truly, genuinely, like, strengthen your relationship with your Heavenly Father. There is no more important thing. Like, that's peak. That's a peak, most important thing. And you might tell me, oh, what if I'm not of the faith? What if I'm not um what if I'm not a religious person, a person who believes in any of that? Well, right now is the best time to be completely without a doubt, right? So what would it kill you to just be like, God, if you're really truly real, and and if you're wanting me to get closer to you, then hey, I put this sign before you. This is the sign that I want you to confirm that you want me to strengthen my relationship with you, and you want me to seek you, right, in spirit and in truth. It's not going to kill you to say that or express it, right? So if you're not a believer, you're not of the faith, you don't believe in any of that, then hey, just pray, right? Pray, and pray with intention. Just be like, you could be honest. You could be completely honest. God, if you are there and if you are listening, this is what it is. Like, if you are real and true, um, that counts as a sign, brother. That counts as a sign. They say that's good luck, and they say that's like that could be a sign of God. You know, take it for what it is. Like, I mean, that would be a straightforward sign, though. Like, if that happened that way, like, I personally be like, all right, that's all I needed. Like, I'm good. Like, cool. Then lead the way. You know what I mean? But but yeah, like there's you have to give yourself the chance to allow God to talk to you and for God to lead your life. Give specific signs though. Like, don't be like Red. Just be like, give me a sign, God, and then Pigeon pooped on his hand. Apparently, like, you gotta be more specific. You gotta be like, all right, God, if you really are there, you know, write it down in the paper. Da 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 da. So, I don't think he said that, man. I don't. I highly doubt. I'm not even gonna put that on the screen because we try to keep it PG up in here. But like, I highly doubt that he said that to you. I have a feeling that you was just talking to yourself in your head. No, the pigeon didn't have to do like that, but I see where you're coming from. Uh, okay, 1 second. Okay, just double checking something over here. Anyways, anyways, so yeah, I guess some of the updates that I have for you guys is that while I will continue to do things the way I was doing it before I left, as far as like do pumping out the reels every now and then on daily news, right, from the entertainment industry or the news industry, right. um, I am going to open up like a playlist of lives and do certain streams or videos, um, trying to bring all the men together, right, all the men. I already started like a Facebook group and it's going pretty well. Like, for me to not promote it and not to be like going out of my way to be like, oh, there's this group that I made and want all of you to join. No, I've been fairly quiet about it. I put it out there, and it's been growing naturally and organically, slowly over the course of like weeks and months, and it's going well. I said it from the very beginning. It's not a group that I plan to post something on every day, and it's just meant for like men looking to better themselves and improve themselves, and want to live a life of discipline, right? Can share strategies with each other. They can share what works for them and what hasn't. Um, Constantine, I don't know. That's a good question, man. That's a good question. It's funny because like I sometimes get notifications on some of his videos, and I'll like tune in, right, for a few. Um, whether it be like quietly or I might comment something here and there. Um, but it's always interesting to see his lives or some of the videos that he posts. It's cool, and he is the community's Undertaker, right? That's the way I see him. He's like the a good-hearted, um, nice fellow. Sounds weird when I say nice fellow. I feel like I'm saying like Longfellow from Mr. Deeds, like nice fellow Undertaker. Constantine. He's really tall and he looks super intimidating, but underneath all that intimidation, he's like, he's a amazingly um, wholesome-ish nice guy. You know what? I don't even know where I'm going with that, but I'm sure if he heard me, he knows where I'm coming where I'm coming from. Um, nah, not nothing like that. I don't know. Not exactly. I would just say this: it's gonna focus on leading men to Christ, if that makes any sense. So if anybody is to lead other people to Christ and to God, then you know that is gonna involve like being men of value. That's gonna involve being men of honor, right? Discipline, um, men who prioritize God first, family, and then everything else. Um, yeah, and I'm gonna give a spot in some of those streams for men to share their heart. Maybe they went through something similar that I went through. Maybe they went through something worse. Maybe they're going through something similar or worse, right? And they want to share their heart. They want to. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna try. This is me dipping my toes and trying to do something from the past here. I'm gonna look up for the you know what on YouTube and give Constantine the honorable warm welcome. You know, which if you know like if you were here in the past, you know what I'm talking about. Let's see if I find it. All right. I think I might have found it. I'm not sure. And bear with me because I don't even know if StreamYard is going to let me do it. Let's see. Let's see if it lets me share it. All right.
Whoa! 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 Oh! 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 Bingo!
All right. I'm not going to play the whole thing because like, it's too much. It's too much to. It was like 4 minutes long almost. But y'all get the point. You get the point. Cons. It's good to have you in here. Um, it's, it's good to have you, brother. Uh, I know you can't really see me, but yes, it is. It's also good to see you, my friend. And I was just saying some really great things about you before you came in here. So you missed that. You missed you, you missed God's plan. No, yeah, I was just saying that how, you're the community's Undertaker, but like in a good way. It's like you're like the version of Undertaker that I would look at as like something sublime or benign, It's like, yeah, it's a compliment, I swear. Like I don't know how to explain it or really justify it, but it's a compliment. Cots. Does that work all the time though? Like if I'm in the bathroom and I say his name, does he still appear? Because that's kind of scary. I that's a It's a very awkward moment to be in, where you're just going about your business, leaving a nice brown rag doll in the toilet, and you're like, hey, I wonder what Kant's is doing. And then, boom, he shows up in the bathroom. That'd be kind of, not gonna lie, that'd be kind of creepy. Just a little bit. But anyways, yeah, man, we were just talking great things about you. And so it's good to see you here. Um, yes, it is nice to hear myself laugh, right? I wish it would happen more often. But alas, it's a rare thing. So if it does happen, make sure you record it, make sure you screen record it, and frame it. Put it on a nightstand just in case, as a reminder that hey, it might be like a once in a lifetime moment. I'm just being silly. Like, I mean, it is a rare thing. It really is, but I'm not going to exaggerate here. Um, anyways, yeah. So I do want to make a safe space for other men who went through something similar that I did, and they can talk their piece, and we can pray for them. And well, I know. I'm just saying because she brought it up. Veronica brought it up, so that's not me. Okay, I was just agreeing with her that it is a rare thing to hear me laugh. And yes, I did laugh earlier, plenty of times with you. But let's be honest, it's not the same. It's, I'm kidding. But yeah, I want to obviously continue with certain podcast subjects, right? Like I want to expand on topics that I know that might hold this channel back, but as I've always said, whoever needs to be here will be here, and if it is within God's plan and God's purposes to elevate this channel, to whatever degree, then praise God. If not, that's not a big deal. I'm not here to look to be like in the millions of subscribers. No, that's not my goal. My goal is very simple. My goal is to try to wake people up as best as I can before time runs out, and to lead other men into not making the same mistakes that I made, doing better, helping other men doing better with like their partners, their girlfriends, their love interests, so on and so forth. And who better? Some people will say, "Oh, the only people who are qualified to do that is people who have successful relationships," right? That can go both ways because yes, while some of the best advice will come from long-lasting marriages and strong couples and all that, I agree. But sometimes you really do need the perspective of someone who's lost it all and knows what they did wrong that got them in a position to lose it all, right? So I can give you advice on what not to do. I can give men out there every advice of what not to do or what to prevent, right? Or what to stop doing, right? Yeah, and I want to be of a blessing to other men out there. I'm sorry, Red. I'm sorry. I don't know. Let me know how to make it up to you. I'll do my best to make it up to you and get things going, you know, and fix that rough patch with you. Um, you gotta be careful, man. So there's people out there who can be like, "Oh man, that guy's butt hurt." You know, we can't have that. We can't have anybody thinking Brother Red is easily butt hurt. You know, which those who know him know that's furthest from the truth. But you know, that's another video for another day. Yeah, so we're gonna be back. I might not be on here every day doing a live stream or every day posting a video, right? But I do plan to little by little, like, you know, start dipping my toes into making the making the usual content, right? So the strategy for the past 2-3 years has been, oh, okay, my bad. See, I read you completely out of context. I once again I apologize. That's my bad. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna get back to doing like the usual content, and what that looks like is there's gonna be whenever I get a chance, right? Because again, I'm not gonna be here every day. I'm not gonna be full time on here. Just whenever I get a chance and whenever I have the time to do so, I will get on here, and whether it be a live stream or a video or a short or whatever, I'll get it going again. But so the strategy has always been to do a short video, right? That talks about something that happened within the music industry or the entertainment industry, right? And that short, which is like maybe 10, 15 seconds long, leads to a short video of like maybe like 5 minutes or less, which talks about the entirety of the topic, right? But within that longer form video of 5 minutes, there'll be always a link somewhere, whether it be after the video or throughout the video, that leads to a podcast episode, right? So that's been my strategy over the past like 2 or 3 years. It's like hook the outsider in with like some type of like nonsense news that's going on that everybody's freaking out over, right? And then have a link in there to do a follow-up of the longer format of that same topic, right? And then another link that brings them into the actual nitty-gritty, the meaty, that sounds weird when I say it, the meaty part of the channel, which is like deeper conversations, you know. Is the government, you know, something that anyone should even be trying to decide who to vote for or whatever? Like, are you out of the right and left paradigm, right? Things about how AI is going to be, to a certain extent, the end of all of us, right? The end to all of us. And just like topics that actually matter, right? Topics that actually are deeper and more comprehensible and more sophisticated and more intellectual, right? Those are the types of conversations that I love to have, and those are the types of conversations that I want to draw everybody into, because you know it's nice to laugh here and there and laugh about, you know, Diddy and his situation and stuff like that. But in reality, the more important things, those are the things that should be at the forefront, right? And sadly, I can't lead with that because I have to draw new people in, because otherwise it would be an echo chamber, right? It would just be just only people that are the same mindset talking amongst each other, and whose lives are you really changing when you do it that way, right? Nobody, because you're already in the same belief. But if you reel in other people who are not of the same mindset, and they give the other content a chance, then at least you're trying to reach out to new people and bring them into actual deeper conversations and deeper topics, right? So that's why I've always done it the way I have with this channel, where I'll do these like funny shorts, right, or just interesting shorts, and there'll be links that lead to other more serious videos or whatever. That's the way I've always strategized it that way. So that's the way it's gonna keep going. The only difference is gonna be is that, like I said earlier, I am gonna open up a playlist where I'm gonna have either videos or live streams um, talking about, giving some type of like advice to other men, to do better and those areas. The new IT show. What? IT? Oh, the It show. Oh, okay, okay, yeah. I haven't seen it, but I've seen the thumbnail for it. You talking about the the whole actual city or town where the book is based out of, right? I think it's titled something like that. But I know what you're talking about because I've seen the. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they're both clowns. Diddy and It are both clowns, but I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I've been wanting to kind of like check it out just to, you know, just to get like a better understanding, I guess, of like the original uh trying to find the word here, but yeah, like the source material, I guess, of like the actual movie and the book and everything. But anyways, um what was I saying? Yeah, I want to give a platform for other men to be allow them to be vulnerable, right? And allow them to share their heart on here. And hopefully with what I've learned, I can pass down knowledge and wisdom to them and be like, these are the things that definitely don't work, and these are the things that you definitely have to change if you haven't already, and these are the things that you have to cut off. And you know um, I'm really hoping that everything that I've learned, I'm able to pass it down to other men, because I honest to God, like, I just don't want any other guy out there to go through what I'm going through. Like, I really don't. um it sucks. I mean, that's an understatement. Me saying it sucks is like the understatement of the entirety of the year. But he has a non-leader. That's not what I mean. It's just, um. So, like I said earlier, I've seen most of it, if not all of it. Um, and obviously, when the time comes and you invite me over to your channel to talk about it, I'll get more in depth. But I will say that it's a very reasonably um, it's a fair depiction of him, because if you notice, like, they made sure to portray him as humanly as possible, right? And that's the whole point. When you read through the scripture and you read the dialogues between Jesus and his disciples, and Jesus and other people, and people that he's healed, right? Um, he always sounds like someone easily approachable. And the only way that anyone is easily approachable is if they're kind, they're loving, they're sociable, right? They're people who, or someone who goes out of the way to make sure that you're okay or the other one's okay, right? Um, bringing 2021 back. I hope you mean only the good part of 2021. Calling to me, yeah. Oh well, I mean, yeah, the show has done a great job with also depicting the disciples in a very, you know, um, straightforward way of getting to know them. Like if you read the Bible, that's why I'm happy you're watching the show, and I'm happy that the show has been a blessing to you, and and it's been the tool that God has used to reel you in, and I'm grateful for that. Um, but you can always read the Bible so that you can understand why some of those characters are depicted the way they are, right? Um, it kind of gives you glimpses of them through conversations that they have throughout the chapters, right, in the Gospels. And yeah, from everything that I've seen, I would say that they're all depicted in a very fair manner. Where it's like, yeah, I could see Peter acting that way, and I could see John acting that way, and I could see so and so acting that way. Like it makes sense from what I've read, right? Um, so yeah, I'm truly, genuinely happy that that has been uh, a tool that has led you to him and to his word, read. It makes me truly happy. It really does. And there's nothing that I would want more than to uh, hear you finally, taking those steps and, you know, um, accepting, Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you know, getting baptized, like, that I'm getting chills and goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, getting a call from you or something and be like, hey, bro, like you'll never, believe what's about to go down. I'm about to, go down like the water, an old man, and come out the water, a new man, right? That's a phone call that I'm hoping and praying to God that I get, because all this secondary family on YouTube thing, that would be a fruit of the labor. That would be a fruit of um, everything that I've done over the years, bearing fruit. To hear someone, tell me, "Hey, I'm coming to Christ," right? And your channel was a factor in me taking that leap of faith and walking towards God. I don't want to be the reason, but if I could be a factor in leading you to Christ, then that would be awesome. I could die in peace, knowing that I truly led someone to Christ. You know. Ooh. Yeah, man, our faith is tested on a daily basis. It really is. And it's when he says that, he's not saying it in a way of like being ashamed. It's more of like, I can't wait for you to see God's power and glory and God's miracles in your life. You know what I mean? It's the way you look at it, and it's the way that it's the way that he meant for us to take it. You know, some people will take it like as like an offense, like, oh, you know, you suck. You have little faith. You suck. No, it's not. It's not like that. It's more like, you have little faith, yet I cannot wait, and I'm excited for you to see God's glory and God's manifestation before you. I can't wait for you to see the miracle that God has planned to have you experience right now. That's the correct way of receiving that. And yeah, man. Yeah, I'm really. Oh yeah. You probably want to play that role, don't you? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um, yeah, man. This year, I really do hope to make a mark in other people's lives and in a more direct way because yes, the channel is I know it's going to be a blessing regardless. Um, but opening up a safe space for other men to share their heart and come here and share their backstory and share their heartbreak and us being like a second family to any other man out there that again went through the same thing that I did or worse, right? And being able to be there for each other and console each other and hopefully give meaningful advice um, that could potentially bless them or help them in some way, shape, or form. That's a more direct way of blessing someone. That could be a more direct approach of wanting to help, right, someone else. Um, and I hope that's what we can do in this channel this year is just help directly other men going through similar heartbreak or similar situation. Yeah, and again, he's depicted, almost exactly as you would think of him if and when you read the Bible. Like it really is that similar, you know, from the tone of voice that he uses to like talk to children, right? He kind of stoops down a little bit to the level slightly so that again, easily approachable. He's a fun-loving guy, but he also provides like safety, right? Um, and when he talks to like people who have sinned, right? He talks to them with love and patience and understanding and kindness, right? Um, so their their depiction of him is spot on. They they piss everybody off. The Pharisees will always piss everybody off because it how do I say this? It's the type of person that they're religious, but they don't have a relationship with God. And that's Jesus did what he did so that people would stop being religious and build an actual legitimate personal relationship with the Heavenly Father. I'm saying from Rome. Yep. Yeah. I could not have said better myself. And what's funny is who was I talking to about this? Probably my sister. But I was telling my sister precisely this. I was like, it's crazy because like no matter how many miracles Jesus did while he was on earth and how many people he saved and how many people he cured, right? And how many people he forgave. Um, heck, even to his last breath, he asked God to forgive, the people killing him, right? Right? And and yet there's someone always like their mindset is, oh, if I can't have the glory and the attention and respect and praise that he or she or they have, then like nobody can. That was the mindset of the Jews, right? In those days, it was like the Pharisees. Like they were before Jesus, they were like the top authority, right? Everything like religious and all that other stuff. And but they couldn't really perform any miracles. They couldn't do anything. They were just there for like information's sake, really. This is because that lady was touching. Yeah. Another thing he with us is because that lady touched Jesus. But I mean, that's a great example. Like some people are so tied to their religious beliefs that when God finally does something, their their mind can't comprehend. Like they were, what's the word I'm looking for? They were indoctrinated, right, and programmed for the longest time to think a certain way. Um, so much so that when finally something occurred, something happened in front of them, and it was God Himself doing the miracle and whatever, right? It's like they have this battle and war in their mind of like, no, but I've been taught this my entire life. I've been programmed to do this and believe this in my entire life. But what's really more important? What's happening in front of you, and that there's no way for you to, mimic it or copy it or duplicate it or replicate it or whatever, or what you learned your entire life, right? Exactly. Yep. Yep. And that's how it is, bro. That's how it is. Sadly, but that's why there's a verse that says that to 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 his own people he came, but his own people did not receive him, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing here, but basically it was written beforehand that he would, do miracles and wonders uh, within his own people, and even his own people would reject him, right? So it just adds on to credibility and the prophecy, and you know, um, just more proof and evidence that he is um, who he was, both who he said he was, and both who was prophesied that he was, right? But anyways, yeah, I'm only gonna stay for like another 7 minutes or so, hopefully. Uh, I don't know. Is everyone clear on what like the plan is this year? Does everyone understand? Do I need to clarify anything? Do I need to recap anything? I don't know. Let me know. Let me know, whoever's all still here. Just let me know in the live chat, if everyone understood the game plan, and the things that I'll be doing on the channel, the topics I'll be talking about, the goals, the mission. Yeah, just let me know in the comment section, and I could, chat it up for a few. Um, I do plan on finishing the night with one of my official long showers. So exactly, yeah. Well, that's one. Yeah, it's another verse that talking about basically us. Um, so he was saying, like, yeah, bless those who are right here, right now, witnessing all these miracles. But blessed more so them who will not have this opportunity to be here and see these miracles and still believe, right? That was the whole point of that verse. Is like basically Jesus was saying, y'all lucky y'all here, and it's easy for y'all to believe because y'all here with me, with your boy, watching all these fantastic miracles, and you know what I'm saying, getting things done left and right, just healing, but just you walk, you jump, you look at that thing that you couldn't see before because you were blind, right? Open your eyes because blah blah blah, just left and right, just pointing fingers and just like doing miracles left and right. He's like, y'all get to see all this greatness and all this like amazing, fantastical operations that your boy is doing down here in front of your very own eyes. So you're blessed. But your fam from the future who ain't gonna be here, right? Who's not even in the works right now. They're not even alive. They're not even, their parents not even in mind right now. And bless them even more that they are going to have faith and believe. They're going to be blessed even more so because they couldn't see everything that went down here today, and yet they still choose and decide to believe and have faith. Those brothers and sisters I will bless tenfold more. That is correct. He did. Yes. That, and it's funny because I think, I don't know if it's certain groups within like witchcraft or Satanists or whatever. That's why they do the upside down cross. They're like mocking Peter of his crucifixion, because Peter, he didn't feel dignified or worthy enough to die like Jesus, so he asked to be crucified upside down. So yeah, he was like, "I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy." Yep, exactly. Yeah, he was like, "Nope." Yep. Oh yeah, man. I mean, God willing, right? I'm gonna try to do my best to do my part and be on here as much as I can, and hopefully get things done, right? Um, but I can't promise any like scheduled, well mapped out content just yet, because well, I'm waiting for certain things to go through, and until those things go through, um, I can't really promise anything like, oh, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m. or whatever. I'll do what I can, you know. Um, but when I say that, I do mean that I am gonna try my best to like be a lot more active. Maybe not as active as I was before, but this is a process, right? And we gotta go at a healthy pace and not push ourselves too hard. But at the same time, we do have to push ourselves some amount, right? And get ourselves out back on the horse and all that good stuff. Out of his step. Yep. And the actor who played uh, Pilate on the Passion of the Christ, I think he did a great job too. Um, I think, especially when you go through like the history and you go through the archaeological findings of like people in Rome around that time, and writings about Jesus and this and that, like you really do get a sense that you know Pilate, he didn't want to do what the people wanted him to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why he did what he did and the way he did it, because it's like I don't want to be, man. I'm not trying to be responsible for like offering this guy who clearly all he's done is just good and positive things to everybody. Like what the heck? I'm not going down for that. So like you see it depicted. It's funny, Terrence. I'm reading that comment right now, and this feels like deja vu. I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't say rejuvenated. I would just say uh, I feel like um, there's still work to be done, and there's purpose on here. There's purpose on the channel, and there's purpose for everything that I went through. Um, and it's not going to be in vain, right? It's not. I'm not going to let it be in vain. I'm not going to let anything that I've ever done be in vain. And so, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but I feel a sense of purpose, to be back on here. Uh, yeah, but rejuvenated, not so much. Just I guess like a reminder that I'm still alive, and I'm still useful and still have a voice. So that's good to know and remember, right? But I wouldn't really have a voice if it weren't for you guys. So I am grateful and thankful that you guys even enjoy hearing me talk and enjoy my voice, right? And enjoy having me around. So man, yeah. Red never disappoints with the comparisons. And yes, exactly. Yeah. Yep. um, but anyways, I won't keep taking up too much of y'all's time. I've surpassed the amount of time I was going to be here, anyways. Um, I mean, I would like to think so. I would honestly like to believe that that's the case. Otherwise, it would be a waste of time to be on here. So, but I'm glad if I help just one person out. I'm grateful for even that opportunity. You know. Um, yeah. Beyond grateful and thankful for every single one of you guys, and I do mean it. Every time I've ever said it, I've always meant it. But even more so that I'm dipping my toes again back into the YouTube space and trying to follow through with what I've learned, follow through with the wisdom I've gained, follow through with what my father would have wanted me to continue with, right? And I'm sure if he were around, uh, he would he would definitely support me getting back on the horse and getting my voice out there. Um, some of you know because you've been here for a long time, but some of you know that one of my dreams and goals when I was younger, like first year of college, I wanted to be a radio host. I wanted to be a voice like at a radio station, right? And have like meaningful conversations and this and that. And I turned myself away from it from the get go because I saw the overwhelming amount of competition that there was back in the day. And so I chose a different route, you know. Um, but I've always been told that I have a voice um, that people can listen to and feel comforted, right? And um, they feel warmth, you know, with my voice apparently, and they I don't know. I've been told so many things over the years that, in other words, like it's in their own way, they wanted to let me know, like, hey, you know, maybe you didn't go that route when you were younger, but it really is a gift that you do have in that area, and you should pursue it regardless. And you know, this is like the next best thing for me is being on here and having a voice on here. So if this is the route for now, and you know, whatever God wants to do through here or through any other social media platform, then so be it. But this is like my own way of being back on and having a voice and platform. FM, what's going on, man? God bless you and your family and your loved ones. Happy New Year to you too, brother. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. It's good seeing you. It's good to know that you're still around. Uh, yeah, I'm happy to see anybody from the good old days, right? So I'm grateful for you too, and I'm truly am happy to see you here. It's messed up though. I'm about to leave. I'm saying my goodbyes right now. Like I'll stick around for like a couple more minutes, but I was already saying my goodbyes. Now I gotta start all over again. You know, from I gotta rewind the tape and be like, all right, everybody, this was gonna go down this year. Because FM wasn't here, so now I gotta start it from the top. We're alive, bro. We're alive. We're here, and I've already pretty much covered. You know that this year I want to try to focus on He said start all over. My bro, I am not doing that. I want you to, to start all over and rewind the video so I can get an extra view. You and Constantine gonna rewind this whole thing and watch the entire thing so I get the watch hours up. I gotta get the watch time up, yo. Oh my goodness. All right, no. I was basically saying that I'm hoping to within the channel. I'm gonna be doing the same old, right? Doing the daily news for entertainment and for a few laughs of what's going on in the entertainment industry, music industry, and then podcast episodes about deeper conversations. And after I'm saying that, I can start interviewing again. I think that part of like my quote unquote YouTube career is came and gone like a lightning. I don't think anybody would even want to see me doing that at this point anymore. Which is funny because I still have access to that channel, so technically I could just kind of like up and out of nowhere just start doing reaction videos on there. But you know, yeah, you know what it is. You know what it is I don't know. I would do like a once a month type thing where I do something like that just to test the waters and get a feel for like the community nowadays, because the problem was that there was just way too much ignorance and nonsense going on in the community, too much. And I'm talking about the viewers and the people who just write the dumbest things. And I'm all for freedom of speech, and yeah, sure, go ahead and say whatever you want to say, but that doesn't mean that what you say isn't gonna come across as ignorant to me. And if it comes off as ignorant, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna call it out and be like, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's the most ignorant thing I've seen. Damn, that bad? Brett is saying it's disgusting now. It's vile. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I guess I left at a good time. Who knows, man? Who knows? I might consider one of you here away from all that other nigga. Thank you. Podcast again. Listen, man, I'm not against it. I'm not saying that I would never in a million years do that. I'm not against doing that if I'm invited and right and I'm good to do it that day or whatever hour. Then I'm okay with doing it. I just don't want it to be the main thing that I'm doing, just because I already got a taste of like a little bit of the toxicity from the community. I'm like, I'm not trying to listen. You know how many like teenagers and early 20-year-olds are just spewing a bunch of like nonsensical, like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just I just don't like the feeling. I don't when I don't like the environment or something, I don't really stay for too long. Yeah. I'm reasonable. I am reasonable. Like if I'm invited to do something like that, then I'll keep myself on the mission and do the whatever reaction or interview or whatever the case. I'll ask my questions. Um, but beyond that, man, that's as much as you would get out of me. if I'm invited to do something like that. On my own though, I don't know. It feels like a hard pass. And it's not y'all's fault, obviously. It's just the viewer's fault sometimes, man. Like again, I'm okay with freedom of speech, but there's a difference between like freedom of speech, right? Because you have your like own like logical, intellectual opinion, and you want to like put it out there. I respect that, but like some of the things I've read in the past in the comments or like in the live chats, it's just like pure like nonsense. And some of it is like rage bait. Some of it is just like uh, trolling, and that's another thing. The amount of trolling that happens sometimes within like those like that content for me personally is just like I don't know. It just turns me off. That's what it is. Like when I see like a high amount of like trolling and nonsense and like ignorance, it's like I can bear with it for a little while, but then it's like it gets to a point I'm like I'm good. Like just the overall ambience just kills it for me. You know. Just letting me. Uh, I do have my limits, man, and that's one of many factors of why I'm over here doing this. Is there's limits to everything, right? But also I believe my voice is just meant for like other areas too. Damn, that bad? That's crazy, yo. That is crazy. Huh. Interesting. Well, I mean, if ever that event happens, or y'all want to invite me for something like that, then y'all have me on Instagram, or uh, I don't know. I think most of you, if not all of you, have me on Instagram. So, I mean, yeah. Um, Technically, tonight counts as a comeback, even though I titled it "Don't Call It a Comeback." But technically, tonight is a comeback, I guess, in a way. So yeah, that's true. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't. I haven't seen the last season, and I missed some of the other seasons too. So I would have to rewatch from the start, maybe, or I might be able to find where I left it off somewhere in the second season. So, but I heard that it did end recently. So in a way, that's good because honestly, I don't even know how long they were going to be able to drag that out for. But yeah, my younger cousins are really into it, and my sister just got put on a few months back, so she watched the entire thing from start to finish. So I heard that, and I was like, that makes sense. Like when they told me, I was like, yeah, I could see that. Uh, oh my goodness, yo. All right, all right. Well, does anybody else have something that they want to tell me before I wrap things up? Um, anything anyone wants to recap me on or summarize, or Ray 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 still he's still alive? He's I should know because unless he's moved, he's still in Florida. But oh man, a lot has changed. So guys, we about to go to war and try to save the world, and just go into that. I give y'all. Oh my god, that part I did not know. uh, that part. See, now it's really spoiled. I would have loved to have. See, why you gotta do that, bro? Come on, you know better to not spoil details like that. Come on, man. Oh man, that is funny. I mean, I'm still gonna enjoy it once I actually watch that part, but now the intensity of it's gone. It's gone. It's like watching The Big Bang Theory and like finally getting a moment where like Sheldon like hugs Penny out of his own will. Like the build up to that is amazing. So when it finally happens, it's like, man, I almost cried. You know, dude almost made me cry. Given the most awkward hug ever. That bad, huh? Okay, well, I guess that kind of helps. So now I'm not like expecting too much out of it. The expectations have sunk down to um, under the sea levels instead of like skyrocketing. They're like below the sea. So I appreciate that. That helps. Um, but aside from Stranger Things spoilers, right? I'm gonna. Uh, I don't know. I'll stick around for like another like 4 minutes, and I'm saying that only because like I'm sniffing myself and I can't stand myself, so I desperately need a shower. So, uh, uh, yeah, man, these are the signs of the times. You know, when you got so many great things. I mean, minus the will thing. When you got many great things going on in one week, back to back like that. I mean, it's can only be the sign of the times. Right. Minus the will thing. Right. Minus the will thing. I agree. It is a great way to kick off 2026. You know, everything but the will thing. But entirely agree. Ain't nobody wanting to know about that boy's preferences. Ain't nobody got time or cares about that. Especially if not in the way, if it happened the way that Red said it happened, then I mean, I would be, I would be like not disappointed. I'd be mad at him. Like, really, really, like right now, right now. Oh, let me get it. You want to get it out the way in case you die? Guess what? We would have been better off not knowing. Like, God forbid you died. We would have been way better off not knowing, bro. Keep it to yourself. Oh my goodness, yo. But that's how it be sometimes, man. Like sometimes people, they fear the worst and they all of a sudden gain this like courage and like, oh, I've got a hidden secret that I've kept from everybody all these years, and like when I go to the bathroom, I like to feel like a peeled banana on my inner thighs before I like take a crap. It's like I could have gone another day without knowing this. Like I would have been just fine. I didn't need, I don't need to know that. Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I get it. Like, yeah, things were different back then. Things were different back then, and of course, yeah, it wasn't as like it wasn't as accepted as it is nowadays. Um, so I mean, I get that part. How like it's a very delicate, you know, matter. But no, I don't, sadly. I don't. Yeah. But hey, I'm gonna call it a night. Um, yeah, I'm back on social media. I got back, I don't know, like November 1st or something like that. That's when I officially uh pretty much like downloaded the apps again and logged back in on November 1st. So yeah, Instagram, you can DM me on there. Please keep it PG. I mean, that's mainly for you, Red, but you know, um, in general, just keep it PG. If you need prayer, let me know. Be specific. Um, and yeah. I don't know how active I will be on social media, but I'll try to be reasonably active, right, within the confines of what I'm going through at the moment. Um, Thank you. I appreciate that, you guys. For real, it does mean a lot. Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. Don't crying pictures. I mean, honestly, I would be scared to open any DM that Red sends me. To be honest, because I don't know what to expect. It could be something wholesome. It could be something out of left field. You know, it could be awkward. It could be a just something random. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to expect. So I'm scared right now. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate your presence. Um, I guess let others from the community know that I'm back in some way, shape, or form or capacity. And yeah, if there is chances and opportunities to collaborate or get on some of the other channels and do some you know interviews with some of you guys, or just have a nice stimulating conversation, or whatever the case, of debate. And as long as I am available the day and hour, then I have no problem with doing it. So yeah, just give me a heads up. And love you guys. Love every single one of you. God bless you all, your families. Um, continue to pray for me as I will continue to pray for you guys. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Hopefully tomorrow I get something else up and going. And yeah, good night. God bless. And thanks for having me back. Thanks for being here. All right. JDQ out.